Episode 950. If you are joining me live, please say hello. We are live in Southwest Florida in my backyard today. It is raining. I may end up going on outside, but I'm going to try to keep the camera and you safe here on the lanai. Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Friday Eve. If you're joining me live, please say hello. Let me know if you have questions for me. Let me know what you've been working on. Share anything you feel comfortable sharing. Lots of updates to share with you today, including an email that went out. If you are not on my mailing list, we'll go over that today. Hi, good morning, Grace and Lisa, Thea, Judy, Geraldine, Diane, Eve, good morning. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. Hi, Judy, good morning. Hi, Lily and Joe, good morning. Hi, Kathy and Kathy and Carrie and Marcia. Good morning. Do you want to say hi to? Did you hear Becker cry? He's talking to me from on top of the fire pit. Come here, come say hi to everybody. Come here, sugar. He's just off camera. Hopefully you got to hear his little chirp. He was talking to me. Hi, Sharon and Melanie, Kat, Mickey, Karen, good morning. Okay, so as promised a couple weeks ago, I promised that on the 950th episode of my show that we would talk about my idea, and I'd be able to invite you to participate in the 1000th episode celebration. I know 50 episodes seems far off, but honestly, 5 episodes a week, it'll be here before we know it. So what my plan is, and I really want, as you know, just quick backstory, I haven't done much of celebrating any of the milestones up until this point because I do believe from the beginning I always wanted to, my goal was always to get to 1,000 episodes. So 100 didn't seem very big when your goal is 1,000, and neither did 200, 500, 700. None of them were as significant to me as the 1,000 was going to be. And I can't explain to you why, it's just where my head was. And so I made a point to just be really just, I don't know, grassroots and mellow about everything up until now. But over the years, on and off, I've heard such amazing stories of people telling me what the show has meant to them. You know, I only know it from my point of view. You know, I make a point to show up every day and share the good, bad, and the ugly and the behind the scenes, and still push forward with as much positivity as I can, because that's what I believe in and that's how I want to live my life. And as I've shared that with all of you, it has impacted others, and that's amazing to me. This has been a great platform for spreading awareness for domestic violence for my charity, and it's been a great way to reinforce all of the things that I teach in my tutorials and my patterns in my book. So all the way around, it's been a great resource for me, and the fact that it has inspired others and changed other people's lives and brought introduced friends within our community, helped people through some of their ups and downs. The stories have been amazing. And so I thought, what better way to celebrate the 1000th episode? And especially since I know a lot of you have been here since episode 1, or even people that didn't start at episode 1 have gone back and watched a great significant portion of the body of work. And so I sent out an invitation yesterday for anybody who feels comfortable sharing. And if you feel comfortable sharing your name, I will share your name. And if you don't feel comfortable sharing your name and you want to be anonymous, you can absolutely state that on the form. But my invitation to you is to share with me what the show has meant to you. Yes, it was called Yarn on the Beach in the beginning. Then I called it, the Create, Share, Inspire podcast, and eventually evolved the name into the Kristin Omdahl show. But it's still the same body of work. It's still the same live stream show that we've done for all these years, 5 days a week. Started at 6 days a week in the beginning. Anyway, you get the idea. And so if you would like to share what the show has meant to you, or what any part of being part of my community has meant to you, I know I would love to read it, and I know everybody else would probably love to read it, because we're more alike than we are different, and everybody's stories are so special. So far, several stories have come in and they've all been amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish all of everybody's stories. If there are 10,000 stories, we're going to publish them all in a blog post, and I'm going to read all of them live on the 1000th episode. I will be reading everybody's stories live. Again, if you're comfortable sharing with your name, great. If you're not comfortable sharing with your name and you want to tell me, don't share my name, no problem. You can write that into the form. But it's going to be, we're going to all need Kleenex, I'm sure of that. But what a special opportunity for me to share your stories and what we've built here as a community, how it's impacted your lives. It's going to be such a special day, and it will probably go more than 30 minutes. It depends on how many stories we get. There's no rush, right? We've got 50 episodes until the day. So if you want to just start thinking about it, I'll send out gentle reminders every week to remind everybody to turn in your stories. But I don't want you to feel pressure to do it today if you're not ready. Yeah, it will definitely go longer than 30 minutes. What was the longest? Does anybody, here's a trivia question. Does anybody remember what the longest episode of the show was? I do. Does anybody remember how long it was or what the content was that day? I'm going to wait and see who remembers. Yes, Melanie. Yes, Grace, the 5-hour marathon. It was 5+ hours, I do believe, but I don't remember the minute count. I know it went over 5 hours. And that was the day we designed the Infinite Friendship Shawl live and crocheted it. Did I finish the shawl? I know after 5 hours, I started getting a little slap happy. Remember that? That was hard. It was definitely challenging, definitely. I don't know what episode number it is. I wish I did. I'm sure somebody will figure it out and share it here, or you could try Googling it. I wonder if I did call it Designing Live, but that was fun. Yeah, it was when I live designed and crocheted the Infinite Friendship Shawl in Be So Baby yarn. That was fun. Very challenging and fun. I have something else fun and different to share with you today as well. Well, two things if we get to it, but I really wanted to discuss my plan for the 1000th episode. Does everybody understand this now? Judy has shared a link in the live chat here for you, to go to the blog post where you can submit your story. You can also find it in my blog. You can also find it in an email, and I will remind maybe once a week going forward as we approach. As long as I get them within a couple of days of the last show, they'll probably all be able to be included. But if you submit your story 10 minutes before I go live on the 1000th episode, obviously it'll be too late at that point. But as long as you can get them to me in the next couple of weeks, I don't want you to feel pressured to do it today. If you want to take some time and think about it, that's fine. If you're ready to right now, do it now and check it off your list, right? But I think the more of us that share, I think the more special it's going to be for all of us. And remember, this is a celebration for all of us because like I've said all along, this show does not exist without you. I'm live in my own life all day long, every day. I'm live in my own life 24/7. I do this show to share with you. I don't need the camera to be live. So it's not, if you guys didn't show up every day, the show wouldn't exist. So it is collectively a show about all of us. So I really want to share your stories and share how the show has affected you or whatever part of that you want to share. And I just know that it's going to be so special. Like I said, I've started reading some of the stories so far, and they're just amazing. Just amazing. You're going to love it. Judy found the episode. It was Designing Live, episode 554. So 400 episodes ago. Crazy, right? We're at 9:50 today. Episode 554 was the marathon over 5-hour episode. Thank you, Alexandra. Okay, so a couple things today. I brought a hank of yarn to wind over the back of a chair without any tools, and I also brought seashells that I picked up at the beach yesterday to go and put around the lemon tree. Now it is raining a little bit outside. I don't mind getting wet, so I'm going to keep the camera inside the lanai, but you can watch as I put them over there. So my question to you is, would you rather me do the winding first, or would you rather me do the seashells first? What would you like to see me do first? we should have time for both. So I'll just wait for some suggestions. Ah, we have both kitties here. We have a kitty up here and a kitty over there. Seashells. Winding, winding. Yes. Winding. Okay, I'm seeing like, I saw 5 in a row winding, so we'll do winding first. Okay, like I said, do tools help? Absolutely, tools always help in any job that you're wanting to do. But are tools necessary? Absolutely not. So if you want to know how to wind yarn without tools, this is going to be very helpful for you. Okay, so first of all, your yarn comes in a hank. You want to unloop the loop at the top here and let it untwist down. What's really important is to recognize how the yarn was tied. See, this one is tied here, and then there's a couple of ties along. This one is Be So Sporty in color Flowering Aloe Vera. Oh, which I'm not going to be able to show you today because it's raining outside. Boo. Both of my aloe veras are going to flower soon. I'll show you soon. I can't take my camera outside. The camera can't get wet. I'll go outside, but not the camera. So if we can figure that out, fine. If we can't, we'll do it another day. So anyway, you want to make sure that you recognize how it's tied. Some hanks are tied with a small piece of yarn and just tied there, and then just tied there, and then just tied there. This particular one is tied here, and those other loops are continuations of the same piece. So this particular hank is tied in one continuous piece from the yarn, not separate ties. Every yarn is different, and this is something to take a look at when you're unhanking. Until you have your yarn secured on whatever you're going to wind it off of, you do not want to cut these ties. First, while it's still tied, you want to snap it like this. It kind of untangles. Think about it in terms of hair. If hair is tangled a little bit, this is kind of like brushing your hair. It untangles a little bit. See how straight those strands are now? Now, I absolutely do not want to cut this until I have it secured somewhere, whether it's on an umbrella swift, the back of a chair, whatever. If you untie it first, you do run the risk of it tangling. The beauty of an umbrella swift is that it can hold the yarn taut. In fact, I want to show you outside of the back of the chair too. You can do this on your knees as well, and that's what I wanted to show as well. This is I wanted to show you both, so let's see, let's bend the camera down. Okay, so you can, nah, I'm gonna get in trouble. So some people like to complain that I spread my legs too much on camera and say that I man spread on camera, whatever the heck that means. So I'm not gonna show you on camera, but you could hold this taut between your knees. Is that offensive to anybody if I do this at an angle? Because I could actually hold the yarn more taut this way than I can over the back of the chair. Either way will work though. Does that make sense though? Okay, so I'm going to go with the piece that is actually tied here and untie it. This is a nice way to unwind yarn while you're watching TV as well. And with one that's wound continuously around, one of the next loops is going to pull more easily than the other. So it's this one. So then I'm going to pull it, I'm just going to follow that tail and unloop all the extra ties around. See that? I'm going to unloop all of those. Oh, you know what? Today I'm not going to do it because I'm focusing on winding from the hank, but on another day I'll show you how I can wind into a center pull ball from my fingers too. So right now I'm going to wind it in just a plain ball, which means you'll pull from the outside, but there is a way to create a center pull ball from this as well. And I have done that on other episodes of the show. Probably can find those, but in the meantime I'm just going to wind it by hand. Okay. And as I'm getting started here, take it on and off my fingers to get a good portion started. And I'm just going to start, I usually, if I'm going to wind into a ball on my hands, I start with like 50 or 60 winds for the first set here. And I just follow it around the hank on my knees. And what's nice about doing it from my knees is that I can adjust the tautness of the yarn just like I can when I'm using an umbrella swift. So I actually feel like your knees is a more superior tool than the back of the chair, because the back of the chair is a fixed size. So some hanks may not fit on all chairs and some hanks may sit loose on there. It is doable, but I feel like you have more control when you do this on your knees. Now, what's the flip side of that? If you're not going to be able to sit there for the whole time and you have to lift it up, then it does get a little risky, because once this yarn is cut, if it gets compromised at all, you can definitely make tangles, right? Let's say I set this down on the table untied and in the hank form and went to, I don't know, go to the bathroom, make a sandwich, take a phone call, and I didn't protect it from household pets, other family members, or anything, it could get compromised and it could get tangled. So if you can't commit to doing the whole thing in one sitting, it is helpful to at least secure it away from kids and pets and other people if you have to put it down. Are you seeing enough of this? Does this make sense to you right now? Does anybody have any specific? Okay, no, I just pulled one. I wasn't paying attention. See, I looked up at the camera and I did get one loop. Let's see, we'll see where it is though. There we go. Thank you, Grace. Thank you for the feedback. And what's great is that as we're doing this live, if something comes up, I'll be able to share it with you. Like if the yarn is not tangled, that's the beauty of this, is that even when you think it's tangled, most likely it is not. Most likely because the yarn is wound into this hank in one shot, it's not tangled. Anytime it appears or feels like it's tangled, it's usually just kind of like your hair, which bad wording, because it's like when your hair's tangled, it just needs to be loosened. And so I'll show you if I get a tangle, I'm going to show you. So what you end up doing is trying to massage the strands apart instead of pulling. Anytime you try to pull on something, it causes a bigger problem, just like if you get a tangle in a ball of yarn. Anytime you pull on it with pressure, yeah, you just need to take your time and pay attention. I mean, for the most part, you're not really paying close attention, but it's actually easy and relaxing. And sometimes it helps to get a couple. I like to get a couple of wraps sometimes so that I can wind faster, although I drop my ball when I wipe. If I wind too fast, I end up getting sloppy and dropping the ball, which is no big deal. You just pick it up and start over. But I find that I run like the tortoise, I run like the hare, not the tortoise. So my weakness is that I go too fast on things sometimes, and when I do, my body reminds me by dropping the ball when I'm winding. But it is very, very easy to do. Yes, this is very easy to do. So see, I should be paying attention. See, unfortunately, you know what my problem is this morning? I'm so worried about someone complaining about my legs spread on camera, because I've had those kind of comments before, that I'm not actually giving this the attention that it deserves. So that's my fault. I'm getting nervous because once we went live, I realized I am running the risk of getting crap for this. So maybe I should put it back on the chair at some point so I can pay better attention. You know, when you get nervous, you end up, you know, some insults hurt worse than others, right? And then it makes you wonder, is that something that I do often? Is that a problem? And instead of just letting it go, well, that was one of them. So I looked up and one of the loops came off of one of my knees and it went to the wrong side, and that's why I got a little bit of a tangle here. Not a tangle, but strands crossed over each other. That's a better way of putting it. It's when a strand crosses over another strand. It's not a tangle, but you have to pay attention to, there we go. All right, we're back on. But I think I'm gonna move it to the back of the chair because then I probably won't be as nervous. I know, dumb, right? So dumb. But, you know, I'm just a human being doing the best I can. Okay, and actually the contrast will be good too. So can you see most of it if I do this way? So see how it's not taut on the chair, but it will also not do what it did on my knees. So actually this is a great compare and contrast. So on your knees don't have extra extensions on them like the chair does. So see how if I wasn't paying attention, I ran the risk of one of the strands that I wasn't winding from slipping off my knee. So you have to be ultra aware of that. Whereas on the back of a chair, it's not as taut as it is. I think I'm turning my back to you guys now. Let's see, let's move this over a little bit. So when it's on the back of the chair, it's not as taut as it is on my knees, but it's also not going to slip off my knees either. So there are pluses and minuses to both. And honestly, both are super, super easy to do. And with the chair, you can kind of like follow it. Oh, excuse me, did you want to give me a kiss? Thank you, did you see? Oh, you guys missed it. So the kitties are watching me up on the kitty condo, and Bjorn just tapped my shoulder, and I turned around and gave me a little kiss on my nose. You little sweetheart. Oh, I wish you guys could have seen that. Anyway, we'll go back down to this. All right, another thing to consider with your chairs, just make sure it's a smooth chair and doesn't have anything snaggy on it. If it has anything snaggy, or it has things that your yarn could get stuck on, like exposed hardware, you know, that wouldn't be the ideal chair. You want something with smooth surfaces. And this one's been working quite well. I suppose I should stop and see if there's any questions though. All right, are there any questions? I don't know if I can do this from down here. I probably have to. Ah, Grace, you use your husband. Yes, that is a fantastic, that's actually the best one. And how funny that I didn't even think to mention that one at first, because I usually don't have somebody to do that. If you can get someone to just hold it like this and you can wind from someone's hands, that is ideal. Marlon, will you come here for a second? Thank you. Ha. Marlon happens to be here, so I'm going to show you. Okay, come say hi. Let's lift the camera up and we're going to do a demo of the best way. If you can get a second person winding, gets that. I'm showing them how to wind yarn without tools. Oh, okay. So here's the deal. Let me move the chair. So you want to put, you can go over there if you just want to hold it taut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enough, yeah.
So as you hold it taut, I can then wind right. Look at how much faster I can go then, guys. And it taut meaning like a little bit of tension, not a lot, but a little.
Yeah.
It allows me to get around here that much quicker.
I didn't know you could do this.
It can be anybody. Well, it's not as fast as the machines, but I'm trying to encourage people to try it without having to invest in machines. You got to hold it taut, okay?
Yep.
Okay, so if you don't want to invest in machines, this is by far the easiest way to do this, is to use a second person. Everybody's saying good morning to you.
Good morning. So I'm going to go up to the apartment with her, and then after the gym, I'll go to pack and ship for you.
Okay. We don't need to talk about that right now. Okay. But thanks. Okay, you don't want to do this anymore, right?
No,
so I can.
No,
that's okay. We can put it back. Everybody's saying good morning still. Yeah, invest in a marlin. Yeah, if you can find a marlin. And then just gentle reminders to them to hold it taut. but I think you can see that it goes much faster with a second person too. Or if you can find a chair that can hold the yarn taut based on how wide the actual hank is, that works very nicely too. But as you can see, there are lots of ways to do this by hand without tools, should you not want to invest in tools right away. So put this back here, because I know you gotta go, sweetheart. You wanna say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah. Bye. Have a good day. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye, Jess. Bye, Marlon.
Bye.
Do you want to say hi, Jess?
I'm in PJs.
That's nobody cares. Can Jess say hi in her PJs? Nobody cares. What are we in? Sweats?
It's a morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Come
going to
say
the
hi.
gym.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi and bye, Marlon and Jess.
Hi and bye.
All right.
I'm sure a lot of people watching are
Bye.
in their PJs too. They don't have to be in clothes because they're not on camera.
Everybody's saying hi to you.
Yeah, everybody's saying hi to you too now.
All right. I'll text you when I get back.
Okay. All right. So,
You want me to close this?
sure, it's fine. I'll come back to finishing the ball later. I think I showed you enough of what we needed to do to give you the gist of it, because I think we're going to go over time if I don't put the seashells outside. So would you rather me stop winding the hank now and show you the seashells instead? We could keep going, but it's just going to be a repetition of everything we've done so far. Okay? Yeah, Jess's PGs are cute. What is it called? Buffalo plaid, right? So let's see, is the camera good through the screen? That's the real question now. Are you going to be able to see okay through the screen, right? The screen's not too obnoxious, right? Or maybe we go up above that. We could go up above this wire and then look down. Let's see if that looks better. Hold on, give me 1 second. But it is raining out there, so I will not be able to take the camera out. There, if we get real close, bend it down a little bit, you'll be able to see me out there just fine. Okay, so I'm gonna go out there barefoot with my bag of seashells. Oh, I can show you anything that I can pick up. Check this out. I grew another pineapple from the top of a pineapple from the grocery store. Look at the size of this one. I need to plant it in the ground next. So it's on my to-do list for over here. But that one's looking really fantastic and healthy. I grabbed a bunch of seashells at the beach yesterday. I tried to get mostly this shape and roughly 2 to 3 inches in size. So it'll be interesting to see if I got enough. But also, depending on how much space I'm able to cover with the amount that I got, it'll give me a rough idea of how many to buy, or not buy, pick up next time. All right, so I'll move the wood chips away. Got roughly a little bit of a circle around here. And I'm gonna do a perimeter first and see if I have enough for more than one line perimeter. So we'll do one circle first. It's gonna be so cute. Whoops. Here, I could pull it down. The rain isn't that bad either. It's just sprinkling. It's enough that it's not good for electronics, like my phone, but it won't melt me. Oh man, can you see that? Does that look good on camera? It looks so cute in person. Oh, we're gonna have more than enough for a perimeter. Oh, I've got a cool shell that I pulled just to show you too. This one didn't match the shells that I wanted to use on the ground. I should have worn flip-flops, this hurts. Look at this shell, isn't this cute, cool? It's got spots on it. I'll show you up close when I come back in. I'll put it on the side here. go around twice. Let's see. Which is very exciting. I'll go in the opposite direction now. And I'll go on the inside, since if you go to the inside, obviously that's a smaller circumference, and therefore we'll use less seashells. Little math tidbit. Don't mind me, I'm just a little bit of a math geek. This looks so cute. And I have a story to tell you about this once I come back inside too. I don't know if you can actually hear me from here, so I'll wait to tell you the good stuff until I come back. Oh yeah, totally made it around twice. May as well use it when I've got you know, and then if I want to finish up a third round I can. More shells. Okay, hopefully you can see that from there. Oh my gosh, that looks gorgeous from a distance. Doesn't that look adorable? Could you see it? I don't know, could you hear me the whole time? Could you hear me talking out there? I couldn't tell. Oh my gosh, really? You could see and hear perfectly. That's amazing that we found a go around because I didn't know it was going to be raining this morning. Isn't that amazing when you can find a solution on the fly like that? Oh, okay, here's the seashell. I don't know why I'm out of breath, but here's the seashell. Probably because I got nervous. Here's the seashell I wanted you to see. Isn't that cool? Wonderful. All right, so the little story I wanted to share with you is that, you know, I rent this place. And so, you know, at some point down the road, I won't get to live here forever. This will never be my forever home like people talk about. I don't talk in terms like that because I've never had the opportunity to own a home in my entire life. So I don't talk like that like other people do, but I still have to explain myself in terms of real world conversations. So I go back and forth between planting here, not planting here, leaving things in pots, and I decided earlier this year or whenever that I started planting in the land. I realized that it's important to leave a place better than you found it. I always say that when I'm at the beach, like as soon as I clean up after the show every day and I'm walking back towards the parking lot, I always look over my shoulder to make sure that I picked up everything that I brought, I didn't leave anything behind, and even that I smoothed out the sand. I like to leave things better than I found them. I love the idea behind that expression, and I really just, it makes me feel good. And so I like the way the expression sounds too. So I always share it. I've been teaching Marlon that for his whole life. And so instead of the pity party of, oh, I'm not going to get to live here forever, it's not going to be my forever home, I said, you know what? You can still leave it better than you found it. And so speaking of that, one other thing I can show you without going outside, Remember when we had that extra branch of bougainvillea over here in front of the lanai where it was digging up into the roof, and I transplanted it? Look at that. I got an extra color of bougainvillea. See that? That's the one that I replanted. It's yellow. So now we have fuchsia, yellow, fuchsia, coral, and violet purple. So we've now improved the home to have 4 colors of wild bougainvillea, a lemon tree in the backyard, 2 pineapple trees in the backyard, and 2 aloe veras. Oh, let's see. If I cover my camera, we could try to do this. Let's try. Oh, this rotten deck is going to get removed soon. Not replaced, but just removed, which will at least be safe. So I guess there's that. There's the big aloe vera. That's the one that will flower up the center in a beautiful orange spike of flowers, very similar to color of the flowering aloe vera. This is the one Marlon bought me for Christmas a couple years ago, and this is the one that's gonna flower now. So this one is spreading. This one was the size of my hand when I first planted it, and so as you can see all the babies that are growing around it, it's going to spread into a gigantic plant, it looks like. But here's the flower. Can you see the spike of flower on there? And it's when it blooms, it's going to be fiery orange and red, hence the name of that beautiful yarn that I was just winding from a hank into a ball. It is going to be very similar to that. So when it flowers, I will share more of that with you as well. All right, that was a little bit of water. Not If I had taken the camera out for the whole seashell thing, that would have been too much though. But oh, the seashells look so good there. Oh, that looks so nice. And so again, planting seashells around the tree and treating this yard as though it's my own is the right thing to do, and leaving it better than I found it, regardless of how long I have the wonderful opportunity to live here. I can enjoy every single moment of the time that I am here and leave it better than I found it. So I've tried to take something that makes me scared and nervous about the unknown and turn it into a positive. And I'm just sharing, it is stressful when you don't know where you're going to live. But at the same time, you just got to focus on what you can control. And what can I control? I can control how I leave the place. I'm going to leave it better than I found it. And I'm going to enjoy nature every day of my life, regardless of where I am. So there. All right. Thank you, Faye. Yes, that's what I hope. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions about winding yarn, the seashells around the, I could count those at some point and tell you how. I'll take some close-up shots of it when it stops raining, and then I can give you a better idea of how many seashells you need for each of those perimeters or each of the circumferences. I don't know if that's the correct plural of. Thank you, Faye. I love you too. Thank you. Yes. Well, as long as I live in this area, I have the beach too. Yes. Yep. Just going to enjoy all of it as much as I possibly can. I know. Doesn't that look cute over there? I think it looks fantastic. In fact, we could even do more and do more concentric circles to get up closer to. What's the ground cover in my yard? It's wood chips. Wood chips, which I don't recommend walking on in bare feet. You're better off wearing shoes. That was not the best choice that I made this morning. All right, does anybody have any other questions? I don't know if I remember to tell you everything, but oh, new pattern released yesterday. Dragonfly in Flight crochet shawl pattern came out yesterday. Oh, thank you, Lori. Oh my goodness, another super chat. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. So the Dragonfly in Flight shawl came out yesterday, and it's 5 balls of Be So Easy yarn in color Goldenrod. It is a top-down increasing shawl, so if you wanted to make it in any of the thinner yarns, you absolutely could. You would just continue on in the increasing pattern to do more repeats as you go. Only difference. If that makes sense, fantastic. If it doesn't, just follow the pattern as it's written, no problem. Also, there will be tutorial videos for it. Yesterday we finished up the Nikki crochet scarf tutorial. So all of those are done and posted and available now. Part 3 for the Simone poncho is going to live premiere today at noon. In that one, I will show you how to make the cuffs, which once you learn how to make those cuffs, you can put them on any poncho pattern. It's not something that's specific to this pattern. Once you learn this skill and this technique, you can apply it to anything. So that's really exciting. And I'll also show you how to do the edging around the poncho and how to turn the corners, which is super simple. You'll like it. And then that will be video part 3 for the Simone poncho. Next up will be the cowl and working the stitch pattern in the round. All right, thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I'm totally distracted by that. It's so pretty. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. And don't forget, if you want to share your story and be part of the 1000th episode celebration, please head over to my blog and fill out the form and tell me what the show has meant to you. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show. Bye-bye.